work on posing. Do you know what I mean? And that's,
Yeah.
that's not to say that they still said my posing was good, my posing was great, but their biggest criticism is there's still tweaks that I can make to my posing to show my shape off even better. So it's like, for me, I've been training with you for nearly a year, and my posing is good by comparison to a lot of people, but it can always be better.
Always.
And I think,
and that's the thing with posing, it can always be better, because it's just like, as well, like training, you continue to improve your body and your shape. It's the same with posing. You can continue to improve your shape and your angles by learning how to just manipulate and present things better. And also, when you do step on stage for that first time, a lot goes out of the window.
Oh yeah, I forgot my quarter turns. First time they gave me quarter turn to the right, I've got it on video, Emma, I have to show you. I literally just forgot everything. And I was like, oh my God.
That's something as well that you can't teach. Like, you don't know how you're going to respond in that moment. And what you've got to remember is, when you step on stage for that first time, and any time you step on stage, you've got nerves, adrenaline, excitement, and the only thing that your body will cling on to is what has been drilled in there. Like, and after, I think I said to you as well, after you've been on stage the first time, that's when when you step off stage, that's when you feel like it's ingrained in your body, because the second time you go on, you don't have to think about it as much, because you've already performed it under pressure.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, when you go on stage for the first time, that's like the one thing that you can't practice. You can't practice being on a stage in front of an audience. And, you know, if you're not a performer by nature, you never will have been on a stage. I've never been on a stage and had loads of people looking at me. And regardless of what people told me, they were like, oh, you won't be able to see people. The lights will be shining in your eyes. I took one step on that stage and I was like, I can see the people at the back. And I think that
you lied to me. I can see them all.
I can hear you, my friends in the audience, and I know you lied to me because I can see you stood right at the back over there. But I think it just caught me off guard. And then when they said quarter turn to the right, I was a bit like, oh, okay. But after that, you just sort of ease into it. And then, like you say, if you've practiced enough, you don't have to think about it. It just happens. So it wasn't that I forgot my quarter turns. I was just distracted by other things in that moment. And then I was like,
that initial moment, like, oh my God, I'm on stage. There's lights. Oh my God, there's people around me. There's judges in front of us. There's a stage. Oh, there's people in the audience. I can see them. Yeah, all of that initially, you do have to really just soak it up and then back in the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm thankful that I had more than one lesson, because if anyone went on my Instagram and saw that comparison that I did of my first lesson with you versus when I was on stage,
comparison is just phenomenal. Like, it's just crazy. It's so good.
But it just goes to show that, like, I think in my opinion, you can't just have one lesson and then have a performance that's polished enough to get the placing that you really want if you've been putting everything into prep. Like I said before, if you want to just treat it as a hobby, fine, do whatever you've got to do. But if you want to win or you want to place, you need to take that posing side of things really seriously and invest in the best and be willing to give up certain things so that you can do that. You know, investing in yourself, I think, is the best investment you can ever make. And it does show at the end of the day. So you can always tell your clients on that stage, Emma.
Crack that whip, that's why. Got to be done.
We've touched on this before, and I know a lot of people talk about how you crack the whip, and I've just never seen it that way. Like, you know, I think that you have a firm hand, and I think that you tell people as it is. But I think if you're putting yourself in a situation where they're going to have a lesson with you, unless you think you're perfect, you should be expecting that criticism.
It's not criticism, but you have to be open to receive direction and I think as well, from my perspective, I'm not cheap, and I see it as I wouldn't be playing my part if I wasn't trying to get the best out of my client in a session. So it's really important to me that I give enough value in the session, and you walk out of there knowing exactly what, if you're in for your first time, you know exactly what your basics and fundamentals are. You know how to set them up, you know what your weaknesses are, you know what you need to work on. And sometimes if that is a 30-minute session, which some of my locations are, then that is quick. There is no time for small talk, and I have to be firm, direct and concise with my direction. And I think if you're not used to that in a coach, and you're not used to that environment, I can imagine it can be a little bit daunting or feel like I am a bit of a sergeant major. But rest assured, if you do what I tell you to do and you follow my steps, then over time you will improve and you will learn a lot from the sessions, and you will get on stage looking the best you possibly can. But you know, you have to be open to take the direction, and you have to be open to learn. And I have everyone's best interests at heart, you know, like I push my clients. And I think, like I was saying to you the other day, we were having a chat, and I was saying, the girls in the client, not just the girls, but the guys that give me everything that I give them, I want to give you guys even more, because you're the ones that literally like light up my job. Do you know what I mean? I get so much out of those athletes that give me 110%, and it's just, it takes it to another level. Like it just takes your posing and your presentation, if you are open to be criticized or directed, then it just makes your posing so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just you know, I guess I just want to make it clear that, like, you're not rude. I think it's made out.
Well, I hope not.
No,
I know that I am very direct. I'm very direct.
But I think you're just to the point, Emma. And I think that a lot of people, I think a lot of people put, the way it's put across sometimes is like you're rude, and I never felt that about you. I think you're to the point. I think you're direct, and like you say, as long as you're the type of person that can be open to critique and understand that it's coming from a good place, and that anything that you say isn't not with a view to upset you, but with a view to make you better, then you can see that it's not designed to be hurtful or hateful, but it's actually love.
It's beneficial for the client, because as well, I think as sometimes when people come into this and they've maybe not stepped on stage and they're completely new, what you have to remember is you're getting on stage to be judged on your body, you know. So if you're not prepared to take critique from me, or for me to be direct, then you're going to get a really rude awakening when you step on stage and you look at that lineup and you compare yourself to those girls, or you get feedback from the judges, because they won't hold back. Like, you ask for feedback, they're going to be honest, you know. So you've got to be a little bit thick-skinned. And I just think with my teaching technique, I have to be very clear. Like, I can't sugarcoat it. It's got to be direct. And if you want a posing coach that is gonna fluff things up for you, or tell you that your posing looks great when they know it still needs work, but it's easier for them to tell you that it looks great, no, I'm going to tell you, you need to work on this. Like, your front pose, it needs work. Like, otherwise, I couldn't charge people for that session, because it's like, what are you gaining? I'm just telling you that you're great when you're not ready to step on stage in a posing perspective, you know.
It's like the X Factor, isn't it? They always say on there that kids go on there and they can't sing because their mum has told them all their life that they can sing